My next guest to join me is Emile Faurie. And Emile, you're bringing the lovely Dono di Maggio to the LeMieux National Grand Prix Championships in sort of nearly a week's time. We're not far off at all. Um, Tell me about Dono. Obviously, we know him. You took him to WEG, so he's represented the country. But he's sort of come back to you as his rider had sort of a slight injury problem, and you've sort of picked the ride back up again.
Yeah, I feel very, very lucky. He's owned by Theo, who bought him straight after the World Championships in Tryon. And then she very sadly had, an illness with a bone problem. And it was decided that I would take over the ride for the meantime until she is able to get back on board. Now, she's back on board now. In fact, she won on her other horse, the Grand Prix, the other day.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, very good.
But for the sake of sort of, a strain on her leg and so forth, we've decided that she'll stick to the one. And I feel very lucky and privileged that they asked me to continue to compete, Dono, and see if we can get a spot at the Olympics.
I mean, he's a horse that I always say really suits you. You look like a real partnership together. And I think I said to you one day, he almost looks like a sort of really comfy old pair of slippers for you. You just gel together really well.
Yeah, I mean, he's an exceptional horse. He really is. And, I've been riding him now since he was 8. So, we know each other incredibly well. And yeah, who wouldn't love him? I mean, he's a really majestic horse. And it's funny because the very first Grand Prix I did on him, one of the 5-star judges, Mrs. Katerina Vuss, came up to me afterwards and said, wow, what an incredible horse, and said the same as you just said, you really suit each other. It's really just your type of horse, and you seem to character-wise just gel together.
Yeah, it's nice when that happens. But I mean, obviously, our sport is, the horses are often for sale, and you're there to produce them. But it's just lovely that he's come back to you for only temporary, but hopefully we can borrow him for a bit longer for Britain.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts heading to Hartpury? So obviously, it looks like it's going to be sort of quite a hot class. There's a real mixture of age, experience, youth. Horses finding their way at Grand Prix, so it looks a real sort of mixture. But what are your thoughts on sort of the chances for you and Dono?
Well, that depends on the judges, really, doesn't it? And on how good a job he does on the day. He feels in fantastic form. It's a really, really great concept. I mean, it's so wonderful that after this sort of year of nothing, that finally, something we can at least still have salvage something from the competition here. It's a great concept. There's some amazing horses and riders in there. So, I'll have to pretty much go for it in order to stand a chance. But, the horse has got the ability. He's had a couple of 78%. Now it's just hoping that, that everybody sees him as that caliber of horse now, that he can get those sort of marks, and that he's consistent. So,
yeah.
Wonderful. It's just a great thing that it's happening. I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, well, let's try and get you in the festive spirit ahead of Hartpury with some of our Christmas quickfire questions. Everybody's been doing these. They're only a little bit of fun. So it's just quick, and the first answer that comes into your head, they're sort of, a lot of them are just yes or like sort of either or questions, so they're pretty good. Right, so the first question is, mince pies, do you prefer short crust or flaky pastry?
Flaky pastry.
Christmas tree lights, white or coloured?
White.
Turkey meat, brown or white meat?
White, I prefer the white.
Be honest, do you like giving gifts better or receiving them?
Both.
Mistletoe at a party, make a beeline or avoid like the plague?
Avoid like the plague. Who want to kiss and like me?
Oh, Emile. Christmas Day, do you have lunchtime or dinner time at night?
Lunchtime, but it kind of sometimes, most of the times, ends up being a very late lunch.
And be honest now, do you muck out on Christmas Day?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I think you've earned the right not to have to. Favorite Christmas song or hymn?
Oh, come holy faithful.
Oh, good. A traditionalist. Thank you, Emile. Christmas pudding, brandy sauce or rum butter?
Brandy sauce.
Christmas films, Elf or Miracle on 34th Street?
Neither.
What's your go-to meal on Boxing Day?
Leftover, well, I used to get made turkey's nest, which I love, which is all the rest of the turkey meat on a bed of rice, which I love.
Complete this sentence. It wouldn't be Christmas without...
Having to do the horses.
Is it acceptable to eat Quality Street for breakfast in December?
Absolutely.
I'm talking of chocolate, favourite heroes or celebrations?
Celebrations.
And what have you asked Santa for this year?
Peace.
And the Queen's speech, essential viewing or time for a snooze?
Absolute essential viewing.
Your favourite family Christmas tradition?
Gosh, well, I don't get to spend Christmas with my family very often, but I think it's Bellini's on Christmas morning.
Can I come round? Can I come round Christmas morning? Christmas shopping. Are you all done and finished by December the 1st, or are you a last minute Christmas Eve panicker?
Last minute.
And the final question, will you be making a New Year's resolution, and what's the chance of you sticking to it?
I normally make about 3,000 New Year solutions, and I never stick to any of them.
At least you're honest. Well, Emile, it's been a treat to catch up with you. We look forward to definitely seeing you and Dono in action at Hartpury. We can wish you all the best. I know ever the competitor, you'll be there and you will go for it, because you don't ride any other way. But we wish you so much luck, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you very much. Look forward to it.